communities with schools that have no heat, no textbooks, no supplies, and a shortage of teachers. There is no library and there are no books. Test scores are gravely low. Absenteeism is rampant. Over 50% of students drop out of high school. Often students are more likely to go to prison than college. Outside, nearby factories pollute the air and soil. Residents get cancer and disease from exposure without having access to health care. The playground has no swings, the basketball courts have no hoops. Politicians refuse to help these cities. They receive substantially less funding from the government. Neighboring towns turn a blind eye. These communities all have one thing in common. They are over 90% people of color. Communities like these exist around America. Kozol explored places like East St. Louis, Chicago, New York City, and more. There, he talked to students and staff about their experiences. This is what they said. Gifted children are everywhere in East St. Louis, but their gifts are lost to poverty and turmoil and the damage done by knowing they are written off by their society. Many of these children have no sense of something they belong to. They have no feeling of belonging to America. You asked a question about Martin Luther King. I'm going to say something. All that stuff about the dream means nothing to the kids I know in East St. Louis. So far as they're concerned, he died in vain. He was famous, and he lived, and gave his speeches, and he died, and now he's gone. But we're still here. Don't tell students in the school about the dream. Go and look into a toilet here if you would like to know what life is like for students in this city. Most of the students in the school won't go to college. Many of them will join the military. If there's a war, we have to fight. Why should I go to war and fight for opportunities I can't enjoy, for things rich people value, for their freedom, but I do not have that freedom, and I can't go to their schools. We are preparing a generation of robots. Kids are learning exclusively through rote. They do not learn to think because their teachers are straitjacketed by tests that measure only isolated skills. As a result, they can be given no electives, nothing wonderful or fanciful or beautiful, nothing that touches the spirit or the soul. Is this what the country wants for its black children?
I'm Chris Phillips. I'm 19 and I live in Ashland, Massachusetts.
As a person of color living in a majority white town, what was your experience?
It was horrible. I definitely did experience some forms of racism. I mean, I moved to Ashland in 4th grade. I walked in and it was just I was the only black kid. So walking into that, it was a off-putting experience. And the way I was treated was off-putting because I had no friends for the first month of being there.
Just even growing up, I would still experience forms of racism. I would always get weird looks. I know they were blatantly saying racist stuff, but I felt perceived a different way from everyone else.
So prior to living in a predominantly white town, you lived in a more diverse town. How would you compare those different experiences?
When I lived in Waltham, I felt more at home compared to Ashland. It's literally a night and day difference on. Do you have to show this to your class? Oh, nah. Stop recording right